Now, we're back out in the tunnel today. I mean, as we all know here in Ireland, the weather this last week has been absolutely glorious. And I think next week is due to be the same. Now, it's too early to plant out tomato plants. The earliest I've ever planted them out before was like the second last week in April. But they're just going to benefit so much from all this glorious weather that I'm going to just take the chance and plant them out today. So I moved them out here yesterday onto this garden fleece. And yeah, we're going to take you along with me while I plant them today. So we'll have a quick look around the greenhouse first. This is my Nero kale. It's lovely going to seed. We had all this bed full of it, but we took them all out to feed to the piggywigs. And I'm going to let this go to seed. These flowers are lovely as they are. You can top them in salads and anything. But after they've gone to seed, now here's the trick. Instead of collecting the seed, which of course you can do, once the seed is passed, little tiny plants start growing up along the stems, and you just nip them off and plant them. This is how I got all this. And all this broccoli down here the same way. So we're still eating off this. You can see there's little bits of purple broccoli here and there. But it's starting to go now, so I think we'll have this week now to have this. And then next week I'll put peppers out here. This is my spinach bed. That's coming along, and then some overwinter things. But today is tomatoes. Now I've cleared out all this bed. There's a bit of plantain herb that I'm leaving. And these look particularly droopy and sad because I only planted them out yesterday. As I said, I only planted them out yesterday. And they look a bit sad. It's calendula flower. There were some that were resprouted and growing, so I snipped them all off and planted them everywhere. These mightn't stay here, but they'll be nice. They won't grow as tall as the tomatoes, so I'm going to put my tomatoes in here too. So here we are. Under all this fleece is our tomatoes that I potted on, so they're doing really well. And we'll plant a few here now today, see how we get on. So I'm going to do these 4 on camera, and they are the raspberry giants. So they don't look very giant right now, but they're certainly better specimens than I planted in. So if you've watched my previous video, you'll know that I planted these into these pots and buried them so that only the top and bottom part is showing. I don't know if you can see on camera, but all the fine lines, little fine hairs up along the strawberries. It's the start of it this year. All along these tomato stems, all these little fine hairs, they can become roots. And the more roots you have, the stronger plant you have. Now, I also have this, which is simply ground up eggshells. So we have our eggs, dry the shells, and then just grind them up. This box was full and ground down as about this much volume. Now this isn't necessary, it's just an extra calcium boost for the tomatoes, which will only be of benefit if you keep watering. A lot of people get blossom end rot and they blame a lack of calcium in the soil, but it's properly inconsistent watering, not allowing the calcium that is in the soil to the tomato and get blossom end rot. So either way, I have the eggshells. It's not going to do any harm, but it's certainly not a necessary step. So I'll take you along with me now and we'll do these 4 plants and see how we get on. So I have this new scoop trowel, which I'm loving. So we'll dig our hole, and again, we want to dig it deep enough so that we bury the plant up to its little neck. So just a pinch, and the plant just squeeze the pot. Put your fingers over here like this, and turn the whole thing upside down. Keep squeezing, tapping, and it comes out. And that goes straight into the soil. It could be gentle, but they're not overly delicate. Hold it up, push the soil in, and again bury it up to its neck. So I've taken this plant, which should be this tall, and buried it. Now, when you water these, tomatoes don't like their leaves wet, so I will water around here, but when they're this small, it's just not possible to keep all the leaves dry. So, but certainly as the plant gets bigger, try and avoid watering the leaves as much as possible. Now, I tend to take off a lot of the leaves, as we'll hopefully see later on in the year. Now, we'll keep going. So again, hole, eggshells, which I've already got soil in, what harm. Pot, plant in the hole. And just hang on to it while you, again, put them into their bigger bed. Tuck them in nicely. Oh, sometimes you can even take off these little leaves, which you know what, I will do. Take off the little leaves, just pinch them out, and you can bury that plant even deeper. And again, I just leave a little well around it there. Now, these are fairly close. I like to plant my tomato plants closer, and I keep the leaves trimmed really well. I mean, I like to get the most bang for my buck, but other people do things differently. So there we go. And again, I'll do this one properly. Pinch off those leaves. Kind of a pinch and twist. Don't know if you can see the fine hairs this time. Just here. Eggshells. And there's that plant buried up to its neck. It's hard to believe these are going to grow all the way up. But they do. Now, last one is here. Hole. Eggshells. Plant. In the hole. And take off his bottom two leaves. And tuck in. Little well around. All this is last year's mulch. Once the tomatoes grow up a bit, we'll come along with new mulch and just mulch along the top. Your mulch can be anything from bark, willow, leaves. And this is what happens to it after a year. This is last year's stuff. But we give the plants a chance to grow first, because I mean, if you mulch that, you'll smother it. So there we have it. I'll bring you back when I have the whole bed done. Now we're all done. I don't know if you can see this, they're so small, but I plant them in this zigzag pattern. Now they are very, very close together, but that's how I like to do it. Except for the end here, but I've one opposite the other one, and this is the end of the raspberry giants. So I know once the tomatoes come up, you'll be able to distinguish them one from the other. But I do like to leave a label, because some of the tomatoes you do get confused. It's nice to remember which one is which. So on from that then, we have Bulgarian pink ones. And again, at the beginning I have two there. One, because I had to plant around this plantain. But I am leaving this because I'm going to add it into my herbal salve. It's great for healing. So then we're back to the zigzag pattern then, with the pinks. So all we do after that is give them a wee water, which will start down here, just gently and around. Now it's that on the wrong way. Oh no, actually I'll leave it that way because I want it more direct. It's unavoidable to get the leaves wet, but there you go. Okay, now we are 99% organic here. The only thing it's not is this. Now there are mixed views about this. There are many other ways to do with slugs. It's just not a battle I can win at the moment. So I'm a busy homeschooling mom. We do all our own vegetables, and this is just not a battle I have time for right now. So, not much though, just a bit. I did buy the organic slug pellets, but I think they're more of a slug stop that you put around the plant, but they didn't work for me. So there we have it. Now I only use these until the tomatoes get big, or big enough anyway to fend for themselves. And now, because it is way too early to plant out plants, we have to cover this with this fleece, and it just stretches over like so, from one side of the bed to the other, all the way down, which I lift off for watering only. Some people come along and lift it off every morning, then put it back on every evening, but I would forget, and the one night I forget, frost will come and take the plant, so I only lift it off to water. And after the last frost then, which is about the second week in May, yep, the fleece comes off and the tomatoes are just racing ahead. So what you can do, if you don't want to plant them out so soon, is because they were getting too big for those little pots, is to plant it up in a bigger pot like this. So you'll go from this size pot to this size one. But I have about 240 plants. I mean, I haven't room for them inside. 240 of these? I don't think so. So I have them out here. But like I said, this normally happens in about 2 weeks' time, is the earliest I've ever put them out. But the weather is just so glorious that they'll benefit hugely. Now behind me here I have another empty bed. Well, empty. Hello, kale. I wait for this to go to seed, like I said earlier, and I'm going to plant these out here. These ones, these raspberry vintage ones. I love the leaves on those. And then I have these Saint-Pierre tomatoes. I'm going to plant them, would you believe, in here. So we have to move all those pots, harvest the spinach, yum yum. This is dead nettle herb. I mean, but I have other herbs that do the same job as this. So I might just feed this to the hens. And yarrow. Oh, my favourite. So it's yarrow herb. I'll leave that in, harvest the spinach, it'll be chopped down, and intersperse the tomatoes with it. I'm kind of liking this mixed plant beds, you know. I think it's more natural, more organic. And down along this side then, we're going to plant sweet peppers. So fingers crossed. This is only our second time on this bed to plant sweet peppers. And last year, the last time they didn't do too good. I normally plant them that side and they do wonders. Don't ask, I don't know. But it's the way it's got to be for this year, because the tomatoes have got to go out. So, these are little, that's our experiment for this year. It's electroculture. With copper wire. There's a little mould you can buy to wrap the copper wire around. It goes all the way down the bamboo, down to the end. So you can make that out, and that goes into the soil. So I won't put that in with the tomatoes now, or I won't be able to fleece them. So here we go. I don't know a lot about it, but we're trying it for this year. They look pretty. Might put some glass beads on them. So there we have it. One bed of tomatoes down, 2 to go. My cat screaming at the door. Right, fingers crossed that they survive the frosts. Right, see you next time.